All right. Well, hello, Benjies. Welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. I am your boy, Johnny Randolph, or you can just call me Randy, and I have two exceptional co-hosts. Well, my first co-host, if you've been watching this for any amount of time, you already know. This guy, he's a game designer, he's an entrepreneur, he's part owner of the Geekish Network. Say what's up to the people, Chuck.
What's up, everyone? How y'all doing tonight?
Cool. And you might have not seen this guy in a while, but he's back home. He's back with the family. You know, my guy, he's an actor, he's a writer, he's a director. I just call him a game spitter because my man be spitting that fire. Hey, you back now, Santel? Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what's cracking, baby? Woo! Oh, Miss Sealy home now. Miss Silly home.
Miss Silly home.
Oh, Lord, Miss Silly home. Wow.
Let's go.
Wow, I didn't expect that at all.
And for
That's
those of you out
hilarious.
there, if you don't know, this is the BingeWorthy podcast. How's that, fellas? How y'all doing tonight, man?
We're doing great.
Man, absolutely
Good.
loving it. Content of Palooza. It's always content of Palooza, though. That's why this show is so necessary.
I like it.
Yes.
Well, if you don't know, the premise of the BingeWorthy podcast is that each week we will binge watch a television series. And then we come right here to discuss that series. At the beginning of our show, we rate it using our unique binge-worthy scale. Then we engage in conversation. We talk about the characters, subplots, acting quality, the full spectrum of that property. And then at the end of the show, we re-rate it again. Now, sometimes, just sometimes, our co-hosts, Chucks and Tail, they can cause me to raise my rating up. And at other times, they just might drag that shit all the way down to the flow. Now, speaking of our unique binge-worthy scale, it is as followed. At a number 5, that is what we call a full binge out. That means that this property is outstanding. It is dynamic. It is one of those things that you cannot miss. At a number 4, we call that a full meal. A full meal, it is not quite a full binge out, but it is definitely worth your time to invest in watching this property. At a number 3, we call that a mini meal. A mini meal isn't bad. It's just not good either. It's kind of When our missing co-host, Miss Courtney Scott Wright, she always describes it as a bland-ass TV dinner, and I always say without any Lowry seasoning on it. At a number 2, we have a snack. A snack, well, it's edible. You're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to get any nutritional value from it. It's just like an old bag of Cheetos just left up in the cabinet, and you in a snowstorm and you ain't got nothing else to eat, so you gonna check out
Wow.
those Cheetos.
Oh,
The
that's
next day,
crazy.
you might suffer for it.
Lord.
Wow. Man, you really just sold that really well.
Ugh.
Yeah. And if it couldn't get any worse, at a number one, we call that a cringeworthy. And a cringeworthy is just some old bullshit. And we say, why the hell did I waste my time watching this? For tonight, we are reviewing Harley Quinn Season 3. And a brief premise is, in the third season, after reforming their crew, Harley and Ivy make plans to terraform the planet while also dealing with problems that arise from their newfound status as a couple. In this season, we have 10 around 30-minute episodes. So I'm going to start with you, Chuck. How are you going to rate Harley Quinn Season 3?
I'm going to rate it in the words of the great Samuel Jackson, MF and binge out. I cannot get enough of this series. It is so good. After I finished the third season, I went back and started the first and second season for my third watch through again. I watched the first and second season already twice all over again. I'm like, I'm gonna do it one more time so I can watch season 3 one more time because I love this show. This show does so many Easter eggs in its third season. I was like, what? What did they just what? This is hilarious.
All right, so full binge out. I like it. As I said earlier, this series has a little bit of everything. We got politics, we got Hollywood, we got orgies, we got zombies, we got superheroes, break-ins to the Fortress of Solitude. We got B characters that you never cared about that you're like, oh, all right there. So to me, it's a big old pot of New Orleans Mardi Gras gumbo, and it is outstanding. And I'm with Chuck. I'm giving this a full binge out, and the only reason I'm giving it a full binge out is because we haven't created a higher scale for that. I heard that it's going to be it's going to be renewed with all the bullshit that's going on in Discovery Warners. At least they made one good decision, right? They made one good one that we can count on. So it's going to be a season 4, but for this one, yeah, full binge out all the way. Centel, bruh, bring us on home. How are you going to rate Harley Quinn season 4? On season 3. I'm already jumping ahead.
Yeah, season 3, man. First, season 1 and season 2 are flawless victories. I had the same feeling watching season 1, season 2 as when I watched the very first time Spider-Man came to the scene. Spider-Man 1 was dope. Spider-Man 2 blew the doors off. And then came Spider-Man 3. And it's just a lot going on. Spider-Man 3 is not a bad movie. It's not. It's really good if you watch it again, but there's just a lot. And I felt that way about season 3. Like you said, whatever you want, it is in this. And I think the weight of all of that kind of took it a little bit away from the things that I really, really loved. And that is Harley Quinn doing some fucked up shit. And she was so in love, I didn't necessarily get a chance to see that version of her in a way that I wanted to see that version of her.
All right, so we need a rate.
What are you giving it?
Oh, I didn't even give it.
What are
It's
you
just a
giving
full
it?
meal. It's still good, so it's a full meal. It's a full meal, but it didn't hit binge worthy for me this go round.
Okay, so that gives us a cumulative score of 4.66. So we'll round that up to binge worthy. All right, so let's talk about this. All right, Harley Quinn, the character, it was created back in 1992, and contrary to what a lot of people don't know is it was not a comic book character. It did not originate from the comic books. It originated from Batman, the animated series, back in 1992. And the character was only supposed to have been a one-off character, one-time comic foil, a girlfriend to Joker, if you will. And even back then in 1992, like this debuted on WB Kids, and Joker was foul to Harley Quinn. He used to beat the hell out of her. And this was a kids television show that came on at 3:00 in the afternoon. It wasn't HBO Max. It was a kid. And you literally see him smacking her around and be like, what the hell? So us 90s kids, that's explaining some issues that some of us might have, right? Literally toxicity and domestic violence or cartoons. Like, what the hell are we doing? But anyway, the character grew and she became very popular. She got her own comic book series, Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, and she's now one of the most popular characters within the DC universe. So let's jump to this series. In seasons 1 and seasons 2, we finally see Harley Quinn kind of emerge away from that toxic relationship from the Joker. She's looking for herself, she makes some bad deals with Darkseid. She's out there, like Centel said, just wrecking shit. She tries to take over Gotham and everything. And at the end of season 2, we see her find her love interest, her best friend, Poison Ivy, and they set off on like a Thelma and Louise adventure. For the beginning of season 3, they are up to their shenanigans in the Eat, Bang, Kill tour. They're out there wrecking shit. So I'm gonna start with you, Centel, man. How do you like In Love Harley Quinn? You talked about it a little bit earlier. So they're on the Eat, Bang, Kill tour at the beginning. How do you feel about Harley Quinn and her love interest?
Listen, I like my Harley Quinn like I like my Mary J. Blige. In pain. I need a suffering. The best work Mary J. ever put out is when she is heartbroken.
In pain, when somebody done treated her like shit. Yes. Yeah.
When somebody, I want Casey throwing champagne bottles at her head so that I can get a good dope ass 12-track album. Harley is that. Harley is that to me. And In Love Harley, it's not Mary J's My Life album. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Mary doesn't drop anything that's trash, and neither did Harley. But it's just not the same Harley. It's the intensity of it is kind of off. But everybody else does an exceptional job, though. Everybody else picks up that slack.
Okay.
So no, I don't like Happy Harley. That's what
like
you're
Happy
for.
Harley.
I don't like Happy Harley.
I agree with you with the Mary J. Blige thing. When she was like, I'm fine. I was like, nah, you need to go through some drama. I need no more pain, Mary. I'm going down. I need that, Mary. Like, this happy girl, I don't know what we do here. I'm happy you made it out, but like, this ain't hitting. So Chuck, man, how do you feel about a happier Harley in a somewhat stable relationship, not being held down by that toxicity that she was with the Joker? Does it work for you?
I love it. I felt like Harley was kind of free, right? She was like, well, I don't have to go on just beating up on shit for all the toxic stress I had because this man is crazy. The man I'm with is crazy and toxic. And she was cool about it. She was like, we're gonna wreck the world. And she did it with a smile on her face. I like little chipper Harley, like, yeah, I hit him in his fucking balls. I like that Harley because it's still Harley and she's still learning. I like the whole fact that Harley was learning. She was like, she was one direction with Joker. Joker tells me to do something, I just do it. I just do it. And Ivy was trying to get her to express who she really was. And she was just doing things for Ivy because Ivy wanted that equal relationship. Because Ivy's been finding over Harley since season 1. Like you understand that they were BFF GFFs. Best friends forever, girlfriends forever. And that's what it was. And I think when I watched Harley, she was like, me and this woman right here are going to take over the world because I could never take over the world with him because he's an idiot. He's a narcissist. He didn't care to take over the world. But this woman right here, me and her got this. We got this on lockdown. And I loved it. And I loved hearing Kaylee Kuko's voice in that. Like to hear from what Harley she was, because she was still the same Harley. But she was like, I was like, calm down the whole entire time.
Is it safe to say though, like, so she easily adapted to what Joker wanted? She kind of moved in and adapted to what Ivy wanted.
She's a people pleaser. She's a people pleaser.
Right. So is it saying like, is that kind of who she is? She's kind of she's still searching for herself.
And Joker brought that out of her. He brought it out of Poison Ivy, and Ivy had to address it to her.
But there is in the ending. I know we're moving really quickly.
Yeah.
But there is the irony of the last episode because Ivy turns into the Joker in a sense. They are one and the same.
Yes.
And that their ambition is the priority, and all Harley wants to do is she would be willing to sacrifice everything she is in order for the person she loves ambitions.
Because at first, you think in the beginning of the season, it was like Ivy was like, "We do whatever you want to do, Harley," and it was the Eat Bang, Eat Bang Kill tour, right?
Eat Bang Kill tour.
It's the Eat Bang Kill tour.
That Queen Elizabeth. I was like, bad timing. That
was so good.
Timing.
It was so good.
Oh my gosh.
So good. Oh my God. The dialogue in the whole thing was like, so Ivy was doing everything she wanted to do, and then Harley said, "Hey, boo, I realize you're doing everything I want to do. What do you want to do?" And then she fell back into her own trap.
And it was killing her, like being in Eden with the plant. She was just like, oh my God. So when she got the call from Clayface that they was in jail, she was saying to herself, "Hey, we gotta go bail Clayface."
Clayface and King Shark out.
Like,
oh yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And when that happened, I was like, "Oh yeah, they gotta bail them out." I said, Dr. Psycho, they lucky they ain't gonna go kill his ass. They lucky they didn't go kill his ass.
I was surprised Dr. Psycho did end up making like a bit of a cameo. I just figured they probably just wrote him all the way out. But then he does make a
he makes a cameo. He comes back in. I hate coming to you, but I need you right now.
Right. It's a part. Yeah, it's a part. And that's what
Selena Kyle killed it.
Well, let's look before we even get to her. Let's talk about when Amanda Waller shows up. And Holly is kidnapped. Does Amanda Waller just kill it in everything that she does?
Every rendition.
She's just the smartest chick. And I want to be respectful. Is she just the smartest woman in the Warner Brothers? Because she's always got a point. Lex Luthor I always thought was, but I don't know.
She's smarter than Lex. She'll handle Lex.
You think so?
She'll handle Lex. She'll handle Lex. Lex is who she allows Lex to be who he is.
I think Amanda Waller needs her own show. Like
she is. She's the Nick Fury of that universe.
Yeah, like evil Nick Fury. Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll tell you she's not evil. She do it for the U.S. government.
That's it. She understands the mission, and she's got the heart to go out there and get it done. Because she tells Harley, like, we take on the things that the U.S. government is scared to even talk about. And it was interesting too that she went off the Suicide Squad, and Harley Quinn is a member of the Suicide Squad. So I wonder, are we getting any Easter eggs or foreshadowing for season 4?
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah. There's something very interesting, and we'll talk about when we get further into this, that I noticed I think it's going to happen in season 4. But it's just the transformation of everybody season 3. Like what they were season 1 and season 2, they're different. Like Ivy was a pacifist who just wanted to be for plants. Then she became aggressive. And Harley was aggressive when she became the loving one. She's one who cared. And Joker, who was psycho, we ain't
gonna spoil that one. We got a whole segment devoted to that one. We got a whole segment.
Man, I was like, oh my God, this is like some of the best storytelling I've ever heard, ever seen. And Two-Face and Jim Gordon and even Batgirl. Like, I'm like, wow, even Dick Grayson.
Subplots in it were very interesting. But let's talk about a big plot. Yeah, let's talk about a big plot. We get Batman and Catwoman's relationship, and Sanaa Lathan absolutely murdered it as Catwoman.
Murdered it.
Yes.
This is the first time we've ever seen a Batman like this before. Like, he's weak and he's clingy.
But that's who he would be though in real life.
All right, so you start with you then. Do you like this Batman?
Yes. Okay. This is the man that's fucked is because he lived with his parents' murder over and over, and that's what drives him. He finds love. He falls in love with a woman who really doesn't care or need him. Like, I don't need you I don't need your money. I don't need your power. I don't need your ability as Batman. I know both your identities, and I don't give a fuck about either one of them. Like these other women out here would marry you for both one or the other, and definitely marry you for both of them. But I do my own thing.
That's her own thing at the highest level.
It
Centel,
was
what
the
about you, bro?
it was definitely, I'm gonna say this last point.
Okay,
It
go
was
ahead.
definitely the one thing he couldn't beat. Batman beat everybody up. Bruce Wayne beat everybody with money. And he couldn't beat Selena Kyle anywhere.
Yo, Sanaa Lathan, legendary performance. That voice of hers.
Yes.
Oh,
That sultry,
goodness
soft voice. I
gracious.
was like,
Oh.
yeah, I get it. I would have fell for it too.
And the thing, I think they knocked her all the way out the park because she's like, I'm not finna hang with this old clingy dude, and I got my own plan of what I want to do. You a whole lot of baggage that I don't feel like dealing with. I'm gonna do me 100. And Selena Kyle's probably the only person that didn't have an arc. She remained the same from season 1 all the way until season 3 as being that bitch, and I loved it. Now,
100%.
if you're gonna go, now here's the thing: if you're gonna take shots like what Omar say, if you're gonna come for the king, you bet not miss. And the king is Batman. All right. Now, I'm not saying they knock Batman out the park because there's a really good episode where they do a deep dive, and we'll probably talk about that a little bit later. But I did feel a little kind of way of how they did my boy. Like they made him straight up garbage. I mean, he was hot dog water for the whole series. And it's just like, dang, y'all dismantled him so bad. And not to me, it really wasn't a funny kind of way like what they've done with some of the other characters. They just made him just trash without the humor. I was like, where's the cool little punchline? And it was like, nah, he's just trash.
He's just trash. He's just trash. He's
so
been cool in
redemption.
Sorry, I'm gonna cut you off. He's been cool in everything else. And like, this is what this person would really be like.
And I'm not saying that, but it's like, because remember a couple of months ago, apparently in Harley Quinn, Batman went down on Catwoman. And it was a big deal. Executives at Warner Brothers was like, Batman can't eat pussy. Like, what? Why Batman can't get none, right? I don't get it, right?
So why so damn mad?
Yeah, but with this one, I thought they took way more liberties. Like,
yeah, I agree.
And damage to, I don't want to say damage to the brand, but it was damage to the brand. Like, now I've got to almost unsee Batman sometimes. I'm like, he's just a rich boy out there spending his dead parents' money that is not getting over anything. I mean, I love
Not getting over it.
Batman,
but that's what he is, though. They expose Batman for what he truly is. They just, when we see him every other time, it's always in the bright light, under the spotlight. But when you take the spotlight down and see him in the dressing room and him in his cave when he's alone, or him in the house by himself with Alfred, you see the real version of him. He's really a lonely person who wants love and needs love. And here it is, he found the woman of his dreams in this cat burglar, and she doesn't want anything to do with him.
Well, I don't necessarily think she doesn't.
She likes him, but she knows he has all this baggage.
Yeah, it's like,
she got other shit
get
to
it
do.
together, rich boy.
And when Harley and Dr. Psycho, when we get to it, expose all the baggage he has.
Let's jump through it. Like, so Harley Quinn and Dr. Psycho, they go inside Bruce Wayne's mind, similar to what they did in seasons 1 and season 2.
Yes.
Dr. Psycho has that ability, and he went in there. So we really do get to see.
Let's talk about why they went in there. She went in there with Poison Ivy because we find out that Frank is Poison Ivy's best friend. We didn't know that for season 1 and 2. We found that out in season 3 when she's like, "That's my best friend." And Ivy and Nora, get your shit together because we're gonna go to Swamp Thing to get my fucking best friend back. And I know who has him, but I don't know where he has him. And so when they went into his mind was to find exactly where her best friend was at. And Harley Quinn was like, I'll stay. I'll do anything you want me to do, Ivy. They went into his mind to find her best friend.
So with Batman being like super clingy and kind of weak, and he kind of does expedite the zombie apocalypse, right? He's kind of the curator of that. I'm gonna ask the question. Centel, I'll start with you. Was Batman Bruce Wayne the villain of this season?
Yeah. I mean, the whole goal of season 3 is to turn everybody upside down. Everybody. I mean, even the side characters are kind of like turned upside down. This is where you get to see like the difference in the growth. but for him, it wasn't necessarily. Well, I guess it was growth. Let me not say that. Yeah, he was definitely the villain. But they also did a really good job of kind of like explaining his villainy, if that makes sense. Because I think one of my favorite episodes is probably one of the darker ones. That's when they go into his psyche and you're in that Groundhog Day with that thing repeating over and over and over again. And it was funny. But then there was a moment where I was like, after about like the 10th time it happened, I was like, all right, this is a little dark now. Like it really went from slapsticky to like, and then it went dark. And I was
turned into horror.
Yeah, but to me, I thought that was brilliant. I really appreciated it for that, because then you got to realize that trauma is not really nothing to laugh at. Like a lot of stuff is, tee-hee-hee in this show, but they did take a moment to address it, and as serious as you can in our Harley Quinn episode, to address that trauma. And then when you see that trauma, it justifies him. Well, for the show, it justifies his actions of turning into what I think is a villain.
Yeah. Okay. Chuck, you think maybe the villain role?
Yeah, I think he is. He's a sympathetic villain, because like Centel was saying, he did the first times you saw that play over and over again, it was happening on every corner. He was surrounding himself around this murder of his parents, right? And then when Harley and him got alone, it turned into a horror. So when they kicked out, when was it King Shark Clayface and Dr. Psycho? It was Dr. Psycho and Clayface and Ivy got kicked out. It turned into a horror episode, and Harley Quinn went right into doctor mode on him. Like, we gotta fix this and run. And they went on a run from the killer that was behind the mask. And when they pulled the mask off, that killer was himself.
Yeah,
doing it over again. And it's like, yo, that's how psychosis works. He would. This is what drives Batman to be Batman. This is what drives Bruce Wayne to become Batman, is this one scene. So he has to have it in order to save Gotham. And she's trying to get him to work through this. And she finds his secret. So at that moment, Harley becomes the hero of a horror story. And I was like, that's brilliant. Wow, they really thought this through.
She plays that psychiatrist role for a couple of characters.
She did it for Joker, and Joker took advantage of her.
Well, you know what I mean.
She fell in love.
Yeah.
And she did it again for Batman, and she treated him probably just like she treated the Joker.
And she did it for Ivy. She's done it for several characters. Drawing on her background as
expertise.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's good to see that, right? She's just not kind of this lunatic that's out here like there's some brains behind her.
Yeah. Remember they talked about her wardrobe? And she's like, I kind of just like dressing like this. I'm not dumb. I'm a bad bitch and I'm smart.
Right.
I just like dressing like this.
Right. Let's move on to the one-off episode. After learning that his stepchildren did not get into a Spanish education program at their school due to political reasons, the Joker decides to run for mayor of Gotham to fix the city problems. So, Chuck, man, you voting for Mayor Joker?
Absolutely. He came out as the perfect candidate, right? He's like, I'm taking all the money these rich people have ruined Gotham with, giving it back to the people, making affordable housing. His Spanish stepkids couldn't get in the language immersion program of their culture. However, the white woman who runs the PTA got her kids in, and she got them in not because she wanted them there, because she knew he wanted his kids there.
Yeah,
man, she Karen'd all the way up, so he had to beat the Karen. She became the ultimate villain for Joker. Nobody beat a Joker before, not Batman. This is what got Joker, because he loved them kids.
Because he loves them kids. He loves his family.
Them kids.
Man, yes. Yes.
How you feel about it, Cynthia? Do you want to see, Mad Prince Joker, or like, I don't know, maybe stepdad Joker?
Well, listen, I just wanted him to keep the essence of who Joker is, and that is, he's maniacal. He's always going to have something quick-witted to kind of say, and they kept that. Like there's a difference between what they did with Joker and changing him and still maintaining the essence of who he is and Batman. They didn't do that with Batman, but they knocked it out the park to me with Joker. He was still the Joker, but what does the Joker look like when you're a dad? You know, like he's batshit crazy for his family and his kids, and he found his nemesis. You know, he found somebody to push all of that energy towards, and it was just to me, it was one of my favorite episodes. You know, it's like, how's your nemesis going to be the president of the PTA?
It was my favorite episode. It's one of my. I mean, Joker's had some classic moment. I mean, Joker's been a hero since I was a little kid. And we even talk about the Adam West one, right? I've always loved that character. This ranks right up there with
man.
And when he gave his political speech, he said, I might have not turned out the way that I was if there wasn't a 3-year waiting list in Arkham. Like, the rich people are out here, you know, plagiarizing, destroying the city. Like, there's real problems out here. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, he was on
Joker
it.
would have got healthcare. He might have not been the Joker. Oh shit. They just stumbled onto something.
Yes. He talked about poverty and everything. Like I was poor. I came from poverty.
Right.
Like the Waynes, who cares about them? You know, they've been rich their whole life.
Yeah.
And
the way he wins in the end. Yeah, and the way he wins in the end is just
his platform is dope. I liked it when he was had the money and
I'm a socialist.
She was on the ground and he threw the money at her and he hit her in the head and she was like, "Oh, I thought we had a connection, right? I thought you were making
we made eye contact.
He hit you, you know. I thought we were there."
Oh no! And what made it even better was his dialogue with Two-Face and with Gordon.
Yeah,
and Two-Face was just being Two-Face.
I thought
he did not change at all.
Yeah, he's like, you're not getting it right. The name.
Two-Face. You getting the name? Come on, y'all forgot the name. I'm Two-Face on everything. And Batgirl, she was like Batgirl, and her and Ivy's relationship.
Yeah.
And Ivy was like, I'm not a friend of yours. I'm not your friend. And end up being like, I'm not like you. And you're just like her now.
And let's go with Gordon was like, oh, I got a job now. And Joker was like, nah, we defunding the police.
Yo, I stood up. I
did too.
I already loved him, but then when he said, we're defunding the police, dog, I almost called y'all. I was like, yo, Joker.
Joker for president. I said Joker for president.
Yeah, his platform is dope.
On fire. He had one of the best. He had one of the best political platforms I've ever heard. Man, like, yo, they gave him the political.
In his life, I'm like, I would still vote for Joker. Now I know what Trump people must be going through because I done seen Joker do shit for like 50 years, and I was like, you know what? I'd vote for him. I'd vote for him.
They actually did that. He actually did it. This is what Trump's people did. I know he was a piece of shit his whole entire career, but this right here, he's speaking to me.
Like,
I hope for this guy. He was spitting like you like that N-word was spitting.
Spitting, man.
Bars. He had nothing but bars.
Yo, but Joker still remembered who he was because he's still the host of the award show.
Yeah,
you know, he still got his goons. You know, like he didn't. He still maintained who he was. He was just, you know, he just grew.
He just grew.
You know,
he used everything differently. And I think the way we see Batman, because there's not a lot of Batman in season 1 and season 2, and they made him very heroic. But it's like, I'm behind that facade. This is who this person really is. Like, yeah.
So,
like, nobody knows who Batman really is but us and Harley Quinn and Selena.
Yeah,
Selena
knows.
Nightwing, all those. The Bat family. The Bat family. They know.
Yo,
they kind of game, but they still revere him.
I love Damian. Damian's still in fucking mode.
Damian's fucking.
They're playing this game like, please.
But Dick Grayson does like, Batman's perfect. Batman's perfect. And Batgirl's like, is he though? I ride with y'all, but is he though? And Damian's like, fuck this dude. I love Damian's my favorite character.
Always,
he's my favorite Bat character across every series.
That's how he acts. That's literally how Damian acts. He's
like, you know, you didn't do shit. Ra's al Ghul made me great.
Right, yeah, right.
You deadbeat ass dad. They stuck me with you because I was a badass.
Right. It's one thing when he first goes to the Titans and he's like, you know, you all didn't learn the weaknesses of each other when you first got here. He was like, what the hell kind of team is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all sitting around just being all friends. Like, what if they turn evil?
And shit.
Yeah, what if they turn evil? What you gonna do?
Damien, it's real. It's real. I loved all those characters. When Dick Grayson shows back up and they blow up the popcorn factory, the corn factory, I was like, Jesus Christ. Because it lets you know that the Bat family is a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it went for money and their ability to have stuff. Like what did they say? Batman's just a man with money. They actually said that in the Joker episode. Batman's just a man with money.
So let's talk
He's
about something. So
normal.
we got several subplots here. Like we got smaller characters, Killer Croc, Nightwing, Batgirl, Clayface, and we talked a little bit about Jim Gordon. So Centel, man, which subplot and character kind of stood out to you, good or bad?
Oh, you didn't even mention my favorite one. I like King Sharks, man. King Shark, man, because listen, everybody family got some shit going on. Nobody's family is exempt, right? And that one just really rang home just because of just, you know, stuff that I've seen in my family and other people's family, especially when somebody passes, you know. And, you know, I was just like, oh, man, I know somebody black had to write some of this stuff. Because
the face his mama made.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then like it was little cool little subtle things. Like he was wearing his daddy face as a cloak, battling with his brother. Like what you gonna do with the house? You know, that conversation. I know a lot of black families know about that. What you gonna do with the house? And you know, you gonna keep it? We gonna sell? He's like, no, I'm gonna sell the kingdom, dog. He's like, yo, I stepped down because
sell our ancestral battleground to our enemy. Like, you just gonna do that?
Yeah, to the Aqua dudes. Yo, and then here comes Mr. Gentrification to come in there to take over the kingdom. I just thought that was just really smartly well done. I was like, that's for us. I like this episode is definitely flawless for me. And King Shark, the dude that played King Shark, did a really good job with it, man. His brother was funny too.
Right.
King Shark, you know, when the zombies, you know, he tells Bruce Wayne, you might want to turn your head. If you can't do it, turn your head. So
because he's like, you know, I get down.
Chuck, what about you? Subplots, characters.
Clayface's story. I love Clayface's story. He accidentally kills Billy Bob Thornton. Then he comes Billy Bob Thornton and knocks the roll out the box. Everybody gives a standing ovation. And he's like, it was me. It was me. And his whole idea is just to disappear behind the character. He's like, Billy Bob Thornton is Clayface. He's like, no.
That was funny. He's like, Billy Bob Thornton's Clayface.
No, the best line ever was he was trying to decide how to dress as Billy Bob Thornton. And he says, no matter what I'm put on, I'm still ugly. And that's so real about Billy Bob Thornton. No matter where he wore, he's still ugly. And his relationship with James Gunn. Oh, that was hilarious. I was like, oh man, they are killing this, him and going and what he's doing. Because he finally got the thing he wanted most. He played the most popular person as one of the most popular actors, and he didn't get any credit for it.
Yeah, didn't get it. Yeah,
it was like kind of like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
Yep, I'm the man playing the man who's trying to be the man, or whatever it was.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. Yeah,
I'm just a dude acting as another dude playing another dude. Yeah, I loved it.
How about you, Johnny, man? What's going on? What moved you?
We got some people in the chat. What we got out here? We got Mark, like Karen's potato salad. And wow, I didn't know that about Harley's origin.
Yeah.
Who'd I like, man? It wasn't a subplot. It was that Joker episode to me. I thought that Joker episode was one of the best things that I had seen, right? I mean, it's a very high bar for this series, but that Joker episode, just the way they flipped, and I am in agreement with what Centel said, is they kept the essence of the character. They just flipped it. And a person like me who's been watching Joker be a maniac for like 30-something years, and to be like, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. If I was a citizen,
they did. They convinced us all to vote for him.
I'm like, wait, what am I doing here? And I was like, wait, I'm talking about vote for Joker? Like,
they call
he was
it
the same person. He was literally the same person.
And the name of that episode, Joker, the Killing Vote.
Killing Vote, right?
Yeah,
same goons. everything. So yeah, man, that was a bigger plot point, but that without a doubt was my favorite. You know, I enjoyed that one immensely. Go ahead.
One thing you said, you talk about the stories of the characters. One thing this writing room does get, like they do with a lot of their animated series, they know who their characters are. They write the hell out of these characters. Like, there's nothing I see on screen that I say I can't see these characters doing. Like, I can see Joker running for mayor in this series because they set him up to be that guy. He's the guy that wore a millionaire space.
Horrible person, right?
Yeah.
He's done that before.
Yeah.
But you expect him. Like, I was waiting for the shoe to drop, especially at the end when he's tied up. I'm like, all right, he gonna be the same old Joker. Like, nah,
Nope.
he come out and literally arrest Bruce Wayne, like, tax evasion. Get your bitch ass up. And they give him the first walk, and he's walking out of the premiere. I was like, oh, shit.
That is on premiere, dog.
Yeah, it's on premiere.
Oh, they literally arrested Bruce
They Al
Wayne and gave him
Capone his ass, dog.
No. Oh, Lex Luthor showing up and was like, yo, we're gonna have you head of the Justice League. And I was like, Giancarlo is
I
Lex
know,
Luthor.
I was mad at that because I'm like, you cannot waste that voice.
You-
And I was like, oh
More.
shit, Juan Carlos on the scene. And
Younger.
I wanted more, and they just had just that little bit, and then he was gone. And I was like,
Gone.
how do you waste that?
But what he
Like,
did though, how he did it, he
I
was so
thought it was
smooth about it.
perfect. Just 2 scenes, and you felt the power of him.
Yeah, he felt the power.
He's on the big screen.
Mhm.
He's talking to her. He walks away. The screen goes blank back to the regular program. He follows her, and it's just like he's strict on it. And it's like, okay, let's negotiate. So we negotiate.
Yeah.
Makes the deal right there. And that's all Lex needs. He doesn't need. He's playing with a cat, literally, while he's negotiating the Legion of Doom.
Man.
And it's like, that's all he needs. That's power. He don't need to raise his voice.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be
Juan
intimidated.
Carlos' voice.
She's like, I want to do everything my way.
Yeah.
He says, whatever you want. The
Whatever
offer's
you
open
want.
to you. And when she presents the Harley, what he's saying, you refuse to come and kiss your ass. She's like, I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I
not
didn't
so
say
much.
that. But we understand that he did the same thing to Harley too, like in season 2. So
Season
I'm
2.
like, wow, this is interesting. And the way he played it so cool. But I wanted more of him after I
I just
saw
wanted
him.
more. Yeah,
I
like
wanted
it
more.
was dope hearing him. But I was like, I
Yeah,
just want
yeah.
more.
And the
Just
way
want
he
more.
played it, and the way he said, you have to kill the Joker for me because he gave us a tax. And Joker's like,
Yeah,
I
it
gave
was
you a 1% tax.
Yeah,
To
he
go-
was like, you mad because of a 0.5%? It's like, you're going to do 0.5% because it went up by
That's like,
0.5%?
yeah, that's Lex Luthor, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like kill him over 0.5%.
And he says going to I forgot what cause it's going to. He's getting to like schools or something.
Yo, and the Joker knew immediately, too. He was like, Lex put you up to this. Oh, man.
It lets
yeah.
you know that Lex Luthor is the super villain of all of DC.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
mean, man, the
I
writing
think
was
right
so
after
well
that-
that everything over between. So I forgot Harley said something in the first episode, and it comes back up in like episode 6. Then it comes back up in episode 9, and I'm like, wow, they really wrote this. It's like Rick and Morty level writing. Like, you all kill it every time. Every time y'all write these characters so well. Even when Dr. Psycho shows up.
But here's where I differ and why I think is maybe not necessarily on the same level. Because all right, so the overall pitch of the show is the Harley and oh my gosh,
Poison
Plant
Ivy?
Girl. Poison Ivy show,
Poison
right?
Ivy, yeah.
Right. You got the heavy,
Mhm.
you got the person that bounces the jokes back and forth. But the thing is like, name me a memorable moment with Poison Ivy.
In this season 3,
Yeah.
there
It's
isn't
hard-
one really.
Right.
She's so mellow.
And if she's gonna take that much screen time, then I need to have something poignant or something memorable from her. And I think whatever it is with the Thelma Louise thing, the steam on that ran out, not because of Harley Quinn's performance and the actress that did the voice acting. I just think it fell flat because of Poison Ivy. Nothing was really brought to the table on her end. Everybody else did all of the heavy lifting, like everybody else.
Yeah.
Except that performance. And I'm like, you get half the screen time. I need you to do
She was becoming a
something.
villain. You gotta think we went the first 2 seasons of her not being a villain.
She wasn't even a good villain. Like,
And then
when
she was
doing
trying
the
to figure it out.
terraforming, it was like,
She's horrible at being a villain. But
the
Poison
only thing
Ivy's
that
always
saves
been
her is
horrible
Frank.
as a villain.
Frank is the only thing.
Not.
She's
she
not
said
really
she-
a villain.
Like, she's like, I think she even said it. I'm an anti-hero. Like,
I'm an anti-hero. And that's who Poison Ivy is. And then she's trying to become a villain. And so her idea is to make Eden, which makes plants, to actually bring Earth back to the normal form.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but if you're gonna play the odd couple, then the person that's going to be the straight guy has to be funny in their own way. They have to be funny being the straight guy.
They didn't let her be funny
Quinn,
at all.
Harley Quinn is funny in her part,
Hilarious.
but Poison Ivy is just not funny. She doesn't bring anything, and it's just
she's never been funny though. I hear what you're saying, but she's never been funny.
Yeah, but this show is supposed to be a comedy.
I thought Frank brings the comedy for her.
Yeah, I mean,
but it lets us know that she does love Frank more than anybody else in the whole show.
Okay,
because the BFF GFF breaks when Frank gets captured. Now Frank is her BFF, and she's willing to destroy everything to get Frank back. She stopped building Eden to get Frank back.
Yeah,
but what would have been funnier? Harley trying to get Frank back, Clayface trying to get Frank back, hell, Damien trying to get Frank back. Any other character trying to get Frank back would have been funny.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I mean, all the characters tried to, right? They introduced Nora and Swamp Thing.
Low key, Nora was funny.
I love Nora. See, what they did was
Booty Patrol with the T-shirt. She comes up and like
she did. She crushed it.
Everybody
crushed it. But I think that's what it is, right? Like, cause she's the mulligan, right? Like she's the thing that moves the story, but everything around her is funny. It's always been that way. Like even in the first episode, when Harley was in prison and Poison Ivy was talking to her, Poison Ivy was like the psychiatrist. Like, he's not coming for you. He doesn't care about you. She always plays it so serious.
Yeah.
And towards the end there, she shows it too. But this is what caught me at the end. This is what I think season 4 is going to be. Harley Quinn became a hero and started liking it and was in denial of all of it.
That is not a good idea.
Right. But her girlfriends have become head of the Legion of Doom. And they both said, no matter what each of us do, we love each other equally. We're going to be together. So one girl's going to be on the Bat family side, and the other's going to be in the Legion of Doom. How's that relationship going to play in season 4? That's what got me so excited. I was like, wow. They're going to play that out. They're going to run that out.
Harley
and Poison Ivy serious, and Harley takes everything jovially.
Yeah, she does. And I don't know. I just love Frank's reactions.
Oh man, Frank is a killer everywhere.
You scared to tell Harley, you just a punk ass bitch, and you don't want it that way, man. JB Smooth.
JB still got it. He still got it, man.
Oh my goodness. All the voice acting in this is impeccable.
Yo.
Maybe that was the reason, like, because we had big personalities. Like everybody throughout this is big, so maybe we needed Poison Ivy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Down a little to style it against all these huge personalities.
Okay,
right? So even
and not just
Catwoman with her big, she's smooth as
shit, smooth as butter. Like, no, when Harley finds out that Poison Ivy and Catwoman slept together, she was pissed.
Because you look over and you see her, and you like,
slept with.
Can't compete with Catwoman. Not with that.
Ain't nobody.
Did you like it? Did you like it? I was on the ground rolling. And she felt so betrayed. We up in this woman's house and you used to sleep with her up in here.
Into your boo thing's house. That's what makes it even funnier. It's like, dang, you staying up in her crib.
And you know you can't compete. Like Harley's cool, but she can't compete with Catwoman.
Not with that.
No. When Selena stole his mama's pearls and wore them, then put them in his pocket.
And then put it in his pocket.
Yeah. So she cared for Batwoman.
She does. She knows she likes him, but she knows he's broken.
She ain't got time for that.
She ain't got time for it.
Especially when you show up to the house and give Catwoman cats and name them after your dead parents.
Like,
Yeah.
I forgot about
That's
that
a
bit.
problem.
Yes.
That
That's
bit
a
was
real
great.
problem.
Yo.
You showed up with cats they're named after.
And
his
it was
dead
after
parents.
the horror scene of him watching his parents get killed over and over again. How he acted when his parents were zombies.
Forgot all about
Mom and
that
Dad,
bit.
I'm successful. Look what I've done. I did this for you all. Like
And he's
he's
calling
so
them mom
broken.
and dad erroneously between like Martha and what's his father's name?
Thomas.
Thomas
Thomas.
Spade,
Thomas. Yeah, Thomas. So yeah.
Yo,
All right, fellas. I think we've talked about this enough. So let's re-rate this thing. We're gonna start with you this time, Centel. How are you going to re-rate Harley Quinn season 3?
I can't lie, man. I was hoping that I would come in here and y'all would change my mind, but it just didn't happen. Let me be clear. This is a good season. It is a must-see season. Very good. It's an 8 out of 10 for me. That's how much I loved it. But on the binge-worthy scale, I still have to give it a full meal. It's just not perfect. 1 and 2, perfect. 3, it just barely missed the mark. Just barely.
Okay. All right, so full meal. I'm gonna stick with mine. Full binge out all the way. I loved it. I can't wait to see season 4. I want this to go on. Like being a DC person, like we need hits, right? We need something to close that gap between our Marvel rival, and this is one of those franchises. So I hope Discovery, Warner Brothers don't mess this one up, and let's keep it going because we got a monster in our hand. Chuck, how about you? How you gonna?
I hear what I hear what Centel says. Like, if I had to put on a scale of a 10, this would be the 8. But I think season 1 and 2 is like a 15, and this is still like a 12, which is so. I think season 1 and 2 is like, if we had a binge out scale, this would be like a 7. I mean, the season 1 and 2 would be like a 7 or 8 out of 5. And so if I had to knock this down, it's still a 5 to me. It's a full binge out. I still give it a full binge out. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think I have not had a show write this well since the first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty. They're in season 3.
Saying a lot because
It's in season 3. Like this still writes at the level Rick and Morty did the first 2 seasons. Like, and I understand what you're saying. There's a lot going on here, but they were able to tie it all together and give us a nice bow at the very end. And then we have.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done with your
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I jumped in. I just had a question for the both of you because I know we're about to wrap up, but I want to know, how do y'all feel about good Harley? Like, of her becoming a full-blown
good Harley.
I don't think she's good. She just likes beating up shit. And this is another way for her to beat up shit. She'll go beat up some bad guys. You gotta think she was gonna take down the whole entire league of the Legion of Doom. She's gonna take them all out and take over the whole entire thing.
She made a deal with Darkseid just at the last minute. She got a little guilty,
Yeah. Like she was going to do that. So her beating up some street thugs for the Bat Kids, it makes total sense.
Okay.
Like, this is how I take it out. Because she wants to go on the bang and kill tour still, and this allows her to do it. And because she's like, I guess I can beat up the bad guys, and it felt good. And I said, I just like beating up shit, so I'm just gonna beat the bad guys with the Bat Kids. But how's that gonna find out when her girlfriend becomes the woman of a major corporation of evil?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to be a
she's gonna beat up all the henchmen, and her girlfriend's gonna be like, "Yo, stop beating up all the henchmen." I got to. This is how I get my anger out.
Cool. All right, Chuck, you got anything before we head out?
Man, no, I'm excited for season 4.
Okay, season 4. Centel, bro, you got anything before we head out?
With so much uncertainty going on with DC, I'm happy to find a place of stability with Harley Quinn. So I was just so relieved that wasn't going to be on the chopping block. So thank you.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, because we would have. Yeah, we marched into like the headquarters that they were gonna cancel this one. Not letting this go by. Cool. All right. I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for commenting. We appreciate you. The Geekish Network. We are a network devoted to people of color. You know, we have people in front of the camera, productions, editors, managers, entrepreneurs, a full bevy of talent, and we do this. We create content for people who look like you. So thank you for supporting us, and please hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube, or like us on Facebook. And also, we're we're on Twitch now, so you can like us on Twitch as well. I want to give a shout out to Digital Click. If you are watching us on any of those platforms, you see these beautiful borders and all of those things. That is provided to us by Digital Click. For your marketing and promotional needs, do not hesitate to reach out to Digital Click. And our guy in the sky, Rodney, tech guy, you know, the man behind the boards, you know, all the smooth, cool transitions. He's doing all of those things. So thank you for doing that.
I Am Wino said hello on Twitch. Hey, I
Okay.
Am Wino. It's been a while.
Hey.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're across all the platforms, guys. And the
Absolutely.
Nerdy Entrepreneur. What's going on?
We appreciate you guys. So with that being said, next week we are doing Cyberpunk. Was it In Gamers?
Yeah,
End runners.
No,
Edge
Edge
runners.
runners.
Edge runners. So yeah, man, we gonna do that. So come back and join us. Same back time, same back channel. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.